Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I am coming off a vaccinated girls' weekend, and I feel like my voice is like 4 octaves lower than it usually is because we sang a whole bunch of karaoke. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about, Mother's Day is coming up, right? And so you think about Mother's Day, at least I do, right? And so I was like, okay, when I became a mother, it was like an identity crisis. I was like living this life. I was, single, and then I was married, and then I had a baby and all this stuff. And all of a sudden I had this baby, and then it was like I went through an identity crisis, right? Like I was no longer like looking cute, and I was like going to the supermarket with spit up all over me, and it was really kind of like a hostile takeover, right? I was like, who am I? Where did I go? What the hell just happened? And then I realized it was like this hostile takeover because it had to be, right? Like it became the most important job in the world, right? When you become a mom. And so you learn to it takes over, right? Becoming a mother. And then as you kind of get the hang of it over the years, you slowly incorporate your identity back, right? And so it's not just one big pie of motherhood. It's just like, oh, I become the friend again, and the spouse, and the mother, and the daughter, and the whatever, friend, and all the different aspects that we have in our lives, right? So it got me reflecting on similar experiences, right? I'm going to be 50 in November. I know a lot of women in this group are in midlife, and so I started to think like, okay, you get the identity crisis with motherhood, and then you get the midlife crisis. And I'm putting crisis in air quotes because to me, it's an awakening, right? And so when you think symbolically of life and death or major changes, in order to be open to the new, the old has to die or deconstruct, right? And so during these times of your life, we are forced in a lot of ways out of our comfort zone. And it is just like that, the chrysalis, like the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. When it's in the chrysalis, you've heard me say this before, it is goo. Okay, like it literally turns into goo, and so do we. And I believe everybody goes through a midlife crisis. It's not just like the dude with the Corvette. It is literally an awakening that happens during midlife to wake you up. Okay? And so that you can live the life that you intended. So, it's like all of a sudden, I mean, my midlife crisis happened when Jack died, right? And it broke me open. I went into the gooey chrysalis, and now, I've reemerged, right? But what happens, whether it's a death or a divorce or a move or a sickness or a parent dying or, you name it, there are certain points in your life, and I would love to hear from you guys and let me know like what you think about all this. But there are different points in your life that create these crises so that you can become more, I'm gonna say it, more woke. Don't listen to that. So, these like crises is so are really like these soul moments that you survived and grew from. And so you could look back and it's like there are going to be some major moments. Maybe, maybe it's in childhood, maybe it's the teen years, which is like you're learning everything for your first time. I just watched a really actually funny documentary last night called Mortified Nation. I think it's about 8 years old. But they have these adults, like these grown-ups, and they go on stage like an open mic night and read their journals from when they were like, 12 to 17 or whatever. And it is hilarious and it's mortifying. And the message is, no matter what you were going through then, look, like you survived it and you're resilient, and now you you learned from it and grew. So anyway, if you want a good documentary, it's a good one. But then think about like your, each decade. Was there something significant and big that helped you learn and grow so that you could have a deeper understanding of who you are, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, right? But midlife is supposed to wake you up, right? Like to go, all right, I'm halfway through if I'm lucky, right? And not for nothing, but these first 50 years went by really fucking quick. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I was just in high school. And then I was like, oh my God, that was like over 30 years ago. That's crazy. So it's intended to wake you up to go, am I living my life for me? Am I living it by what society is dictating? Am I living it for other people? I'm not saying don't live for other people, right? Because it's about community and connection and all that good stuff. But am I living my life with purpose and intent? Okay. Or am I waiting to be rescued? Or have I checked off all the boxes and all of my boxes are like, oh yeah, I got married, I have the kids, I have the dog, I have the career, I have the thing, and it's like you're getting these like life carrots dangled out. It doesn't just happen in corporate world, it happens in life. And you check off all these boxes and then you're like, wait, I have all these things, or I've accomplished all these things, but I still don't know who I am, right? This is what this midlife awakening is all about, And so ask yourself, like, am I living my dream, my purpose, or someone else's? And so because our soul has gifts and wisdom, that is inside of you that needs to be found so that your soul could evolve as a soul on its journey. Like the reason we're human here is so that we could learn and evolve. And so and to discover these gifts. And the gifts are like, inside that dark cave in the dark night of the soul of the midlife crisis or the quarter life crisis, because there's one of those too. It's just called Saturn return. And then that happens again when we're like 56. It's like every 28 years, Saturn returns back into the house that you were, I don't know. It's astrology. I don't know the astrological aspects of it, but I know the psychological aspects of it and the spiritual aspects of it. And it's every 28 years, Saturn returns into your house. And major changes kind of come from there, but they're awesome. So the first one's 28 to 32, and then the next one, I guess, is 28 years later, so it's like 56 to 62. But this is all about learning how to embrace being that wise woman and entering into becoming that wise woman and that like crone, if you will, and to like, stop, like, I'm going through the changes, right? So it's like our body's going through changes, our minds are going through changes, our emotional body is, and so is our spiritual body. And we really start to get clear about who we are and what we want from life. So that is what I wanted to talk about today. This month in Soul Care Circle is all about, what is it all about? It's all about leaning into your fears, looking into what is holding you back, because those fears are actually put in your way so that you could lean into them and grow and evolve. Right? And so in the circle this month, I'm talking all about it. We're going to have some meditation so you can get in touch with your wise woman and, create safety so you could keep going on your life path. And then we're going to do a really cool hypno healing on all that stuff in a few weeks. So we would love to have you. It is open enrollment, but I highly recommend getting in. Well, you have to get in at the beginning of the month so you could get the teaching, the meditation, so you don't just come in on the hypno. But the information is in the announcements, and I hope to see you in there. It's $149 a month, and it's so awesome. I love it, and we have an amazing group of women. That is all. I will see you guys next Monday live, and have a wonderful week. Mwah. Bye.